former Vice President Kamala Harris, she was in Nashville over the weekend to speak at the National Urban League Conference and the National Bar Association annual convention. And I think it's safe to say she's still on rocky ground with the Bidens after this. Listen.
In your view, rank the top 3 most effective presidents in American history.
Oh, Mark, don't make me do that.
Oh, you can turn the question around.
It was actually interesting. I couldn't sleep last night, and I was watching NPR. Was doing did anybody watch a whole thing on FDR? Did you watch it? And it was, of course, his 3 terms in office, and it was interesting to, and of course the role of his wife, Eleanor Roosevelt, and he did some good things. Yeah. In fact, it was he who talked about the expansion of the Supreme Court, and then he got ferocious blowback for that. But he did good. It was Social Security. It was, when I think about what he did in terms of investing in the people during dire times and talking about the role and responsibility of government, that it should not just be about the benevolence of community organizations or just interpersonal relationships, that the government has a role. I think that he was a very important president. He appreciated that government has, in my mind, 3 essential functions, which is public health, public safety, and public education. I will credit, give me more time to really think about this. I credit, Kennedy, of course, in terms of what he laid the FDR. Groundwork for, and then Johnson Kennedy. Followed up on.
Of course.
Right? Around having the ability, but that was, again, an example of the inside-outside game. Because the reason that happened is because the pressure was on from the outside to appeal to the conscience of the people on the inside.
Yes.
And so I don't think that there's been any great president who has been without that kind of pressure as well. And then, of course, Barack Obama.
Yeah, of course.
There we go. There's number 3.
Yeah.
So,
and what he did with the
Kennedy, Obama. FDR, Kennedy, Obama. Guess who she didn't say? I mean, sorry. Also, to everyone in the chat and to everyone listening, I'm sorry. That was a long Kamala Harris clip. I'm sorry to do that to you, but I had to. FDR, Kennedy, Barack Obama. Remember when she was all smiles answering Joe Biden's cell phone call? We did it, Joe. We did it. They were so happy back then.
Love a good word salad at 8 a.m.
Love a good word salad at 8 a.m. And she's the queen. And I miss them. I kind of do. I miss her word salads and I miss Biden's word salads. I'm just going to be honest. I do. We don't get them as much anymore. And it's it's nice that we have someone who's competent in the office, right? But I do kind of miss making fun of them. Anyway, Kamala Harris probably blames Biden, right, and the DNC for not giving her enough time to campaign. She wrote a whole book about her 103-day campaign. I think it was 103. And, she had enough time in those 103 days to pay J-Lo to cry and Megan Thee Stallion to twerk on stage and then end up millions of dollars in debt. So she had plenty of time to campaign. She just didn't do so effectively. And would she have really needed that much time to campaign on her own if she was an active participant in the Biden administration? You should be able to be confident in what you're doing for the American people, where she wouldn't really need that much time to campaign aside from, hey, this is what I've been doing in office. We're doing great, right, guys? How are we doing? But it was bad. So even if she did run a good campaign, she claims that, she didn't have enough time. But I think it's because she didn't have much to run on other than her skin tone and being a woman and being pro-abortion. So even if she had hundreds of more days to campaign, the American people weren't interested. They weren't interested in her in 2020 when she ran for president. Nobody voted for her. She dropped out. No one even cast one vote for her before the primaries. She dropped out. She was so unpopular. And they weren't interested in her after her little stint as vice president either. The more camera time she got, the more word salads she whipped up. Nobody was impressed. So whether or not the DNC ran Joe Biden's corpse and continued to do that, or if they put her out in front instead, the two of them were sure to stumble and misspeak. They were good for a gaffe.